And me and Edgeworth is back with yet another stream of Ace Attorney. This may or may not be the last part of the first game of the trilogy. I'm not sure. I just know we have gotten really close to the end. I just don't know exactly how close. Let's see, where we left off, basically we, cornered Mr. Damon Gantz about, the murder that happened, the incident. Whoops, I didn't mean to skip over that, but I did, but the, SO9 incident, basically. We cornered him about it, and we learned a whole lot more about the whole scenario. But we still don't have Lena as innocent yet. We haven't found a way to prove her as innocent. Hopefully we manage to successfully do that. I hope we do. I promise you, Lena Sky, I will save you from being guilty. Somehow by stumbling through every trial. Yeah, thanks to your help, Edgeworth. That Chief, he's something else, eh, pals? Detective Gumshoe! Ha ha ha! I'm not a detective anymore. Oh no! You got fired, didn't you? Oh yeah, he asked for your badge after we broke into his office, that's right. I forgot about that. It's weird now. Calling you I guess you're just Gumshoe now. There's no detective in the beginning of your name. That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right at all. I don't like it. Ah, don't worry. I've already decided where to work now. Oh, where? At your office. Oh, he's coming to work for me. You know what? Actually, yes, please, come work with me, Mr. Gumshoe. I would love to have you as a partner working with me. Who wouldn't want Gumshoe to work with them? My office? Sure! I'll take the place of that top-knotted girl you used to work with. Honestly, yeah. I still accept this proposal. I love this proposal. Please come work with me. I love you way more than them. You're my favorite character. One of my favorite characters in this game. You're great. Could he mean Maya? Obviously. Who else would he be talking about? Still, looks like we're all out of moves now. Nah, we'll come up with something. Chief Gant's done it again. How is it he always gets the upper hand? It's not fair he has the right to refuse to testify. Settle down, right? Remember what the judge said? But Chief! That is not a right to be casually invoked. There are certain risks to be considered. Risk? What did he mean by that? It's simple. If the Chief refuses to testify, the opposite also holds true. You mean, he forfeits his right to say anything, too. Who's speaking? Oh, you're back! Emma! Welcome back to the team. I didn't miss you. Yeah, when I came to, I was in the medical office. I've been listening to the trial from the gallery. So she heard everything that's been going on. Emma, I'm sorry for what I said before. No, don't be. It was the truth. You know, it's funny. I almost feel somehow relieved. Relieved? Yeah. Now I finally know what really happened. To think that all this time, my sister was being blackmailed by that terrible man. And she did it all just to protect me. Ever since her appointment as chief prosecutor. Everyone Everyone who knew her said she changed. Perhaps it was easier that way for her. What do you mean? What do you think I mean? To follow Chief Gant's orders. She must have shut herself up deep inside. To force herself to do anything and everything the Chief told her to do. That must be why she became so cold. It would make sense. It was all my fault. It's all because I murdered Mr. Marshall. Actually, it's not your fault. Don't worry. Hey, don't go blaming yourself now. If you want to blame anyone, blame society, pal. Yep. I'm with Gumshoe on this one. Chief Gant may be able to fool everyone else with his forgery, but he can't fool my memory. I remember now. I knocked Mr. Marshall into that armor. I see. Well, we better get back. It's time for the final act. Emma, why don't you wait? No, I'm going with you. No, I want Gumshoe to come with me instead. Grumble, grumble. I prefer Gumshoe over you any day. Grumble, grumble. I want to be there when Lena tells the truth. Let's go, Wright. It's time to end this. To be continued once again. Alright, here we go. Now then, will the defendant, Miss Lena Skye, please take the stand? Miss Lena Skye, you are the chief prosecutor. I'm sure you're aware of what is required of you. But Mr. Edgeworth, you already know everything. You know all that I've done these past 2 years. Please provide the court with your testimony, Miss Skye. And remember, you are under oath. We want to hear the truth. Of course. The truth. Lena, no matter what happens, I'll always be your sister. That's wholesome. Now then, your testimony, if you will. First, tell us about your relationship with Chief Gant. Everything hinges on your testimony. You're the only chance we have to get Gant. We gotta get Gant. That man deserves to get gotted. I worked alongside Gant for years. There's no truth to his blackmail theory. I fabricated the evidence 2 years ago all by myself. When I found Prosecutor Marshall's body, I rearranged the crime scene. My only motivation was to get Dark convicted. It had nothing to do with Emma. It probably had a lot to do with Emma. Are you so sure about this testimony? Your Honor, I'm confessing to a capital offense. Of course I'm sure. But Lena! If this is true, then that means Chief Gant has nothing to do with this. That's what I've been telling you from the beginning. Please, Mr. Wright, you've got to help her. She's sacrificing herself because of me. But what if she's telling the truth? She's not. I know my own sister. Whenever she speaks stiffly like that, she's hiding something inside. Deep down, she's really screaming in agony. I don't want to imagine that. Yeah, this is no time to start second-guessing myself. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. How many years exactly? Ever since I made senior detective. Let's see, I was 24 then, so that would be 5 years. Detective Gant and Detective Skye were legendary partners. I personally saw them testify in numerous cases. She must have been a good coming from the same school as Mia. Damon Gant was a respectable detective, that's why. But think about it, Miss Guy. You didn't murder Detective Goodman. You told me as much yesterday in jail. You still don't get it, do you, Mr. Wright? Any testimony you cannot present in court is as useless as idle gossip. I stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife. And? Did you do so to help your sister? Joe was a serial killer. My sister almost became his last victim that day. I didn't want that incident to ruin her life. But what she did was justifiable self-defense. She wouldn't have been charged with anything. That's not the point. She was traumatized that day, all because of that creep. That's why I couldn't forgive him. Lena, so that's why you fabricated the evidence 2 years ago? You say you did this all by yourself. Yes. Would you mind telling us what you found when you arrived at the crime scene? It seems I was the first person to discover the scene. The broken prosecutor award knife was stuck in the victim's body. What? But Prosecutor Marshall died from an unfortunate accident. That's only a situation you dreamed was possible. The reality is, it wasn't my sister who took the prosecutor's life. Fantasize all you want, Mr. Wright, but I'll never change this statement. You mean, Prosecutor Marshall wound up being killed by Darky? Something like that. He was killed by Gant. Gant stabbed him in the back. If that is so, what happened to the other murder weapon? He was carrying a switchblade knife. Oh, that was lying on the floor a little distance away. It was probably knocked away in the struggle. That's not how it went down. She's trying to cover up her lies with more lies. All just to protect me. So when you found the scene like this, what did you do? After all, this is what everything boils down to. You planted the tip of his... Okay, everybody's shocked about this. But why? Why would you do that? You of all people should know, Edgeworth. You've always had a good head on your shoulders. My head isn't that bad, but maybe I'll have to ask for the sake of the others. I want to know the answer to both of these. But why did you do that? Calm now, Mr. Wright. Even you should be able to figure it out. Very well, let's add this to the witness's testimony. The reason Miss Guy fabricated the knife. According to your testimony, Prosecutor Marshall's broken knife was the murder weapon, right? How did I mess up that word a second time? Yes, and leaving it at that might point the blame away from Dark. Well, from Mr. D. I felt the most effective way to get him convicted would be by having the tip of his knife found inside the victim's body. So you buried it inside the victim's stab wound. Yes, because I hated Mr. D for what he did. So you rearranged the crime scene. Are you sure you didn't do this to keep Emma from looking like the murderer? How many times do I have to tell you, Mr. Wright? Emma didn't do it. Period. Are you so desperate to hide that fact? You're willing to risk the death sentence? She's lying! She did it so I wouldn't be blamed for what happened.
In any case, as a prosecutor would have done is unpardonable. There's nothing I can do to make up for my actions. Mr. Wright, my sister's lying! It looks like she's determined to protect you in the end. She insists she fabricated the evidence by herself. There's no way she could have done it alone. Gotta get Lena to talk some more. If she's lying, then she's bound to slip up and make a contradiction. Maybe she'll say something towards the move your body part. Let's see. There's gotta be a reason why these two questions are here. When you showed up on the scene, where exactly was the victim's body? It was where you deducted it was, by Chief Gant's desk. But the body was found by your desk. Why did you move it there? The reason for that is simple. Let's have the witness explain this in more detail. The reason Miss Sky moved the body. The pieces of the jar that shattered threatened her plan. Pieces of the jar, you mean? Yes, that wretched jar you showed us earlier. In order to show that Mr. D committed the crime, I felt it'd be more expedient to move the body. So, when you first found the body, the jar was already... Of course it had been shattered to pieces. If you look at the crime scene, it would be clear right away what happened. Neil Marshall was dead, and Mr. D was lying unconscious. In other words, the jar must have been broken during their struggle. I see. What's the matter, Emma? Apparently the jar shattered at the time of the crime was committed. But I have a feeling there's more to it than that. There must be a contradiction here somewhere. Wait. Go back. Oops, not what I wanted, but I'm sure the badge would 100% save everything. I feel like this is, you know, now that we move on here, and she's saying that Emma didn't actually do it, I kind of feel like maybe Gant was the one who actually committed the crime. And he took Emma's fingerprints to somehow maybe frame her and use as blackmail against Lena, maybe? That could be something, I guess. Okay, so the reason why I am hovering over the unstable jar is because, let's see, she says that the jar was already broken when she went to the scene. So if that's the case, how did the person write the name Emma on the jar? I mean, I guess he could have wrote the name on the jar and then accidentally shattered it, but I don't know. It's a little fishy.
Objection!
Miss Sky, I understand how you feel. You committed that crime 2 years ago to protect your sister. You mean the forgery at the scene where Neil Marshall was murdered? If that truth were to be exposed now, the past 2 years of your life will have been in vain. Even so, I am compelled to bring to everyone's attention a significant contradiction within your testimony. A contradiction? In my testimony? You testified, and I quote, "The pieces of the jar that shattered during the events threatened my plan." That's right. Do you have a problem with that? It's a simple oversight, really. You see, a message was written on this jar with the victim's blood. Yes, the prosecutor must have written it in his final moments. Exactly so. And this is where the contradiction lies. In order for the victim to be able to write his message on the jar, it must not have been broken before he died. Ah! He couldn't have written Emma's name on a shattered jar. That's very true. He couldn't. It would be almost near impossible to do unless you're very magical at somehow writing letters on broken pieces that match up later. You would have to be a wizard to do that, though. Order! Order! Your Honor, it would appear more information is needed in regard to this jar and its bloody message. We may be missing something critical here. Something critical? Chief Prosecutor, it seems you're as in the dark as we are about the truth towards which we're headed. What? Just tell us exactly what you saw. We'll piece together the information to arrive at the truth. Very well. The witness may now continue her testimony. I immediately noticed the blood traces on the jar, but it was dark in the room and I didn't have time to check it out. To be safe, I wiped away the blood. The fragments were large, so I'm sure I got them all. All I could think about was wiping them clean before they were discovered. You mean you were the one who wiped away the message in blood? I wasn't chief prosecutor at the time. She didn't think Mr. D was the real murderer. That's why she tried to erase the real evidence. Very well. The defense may now begin its cross-examination. This is really fishy, Lena. What are you trying to get us? What type of conclusion are you trying to lead us to?
Hold it!
So the jar was already broken. It's a miracle that thing hadn't broken earlier. It certainly looks as feeble as the defense's case. Har har. Not as feeble as the judge's judgment. Oh, the burns. The sick burns in this game. You were an ace detective who never missed a detail. Do you really expect us to believe you didn't investigate what was written on the jar pieces? Normally I would have. So you didn't know your sister's name was written on the jar? No. If I had known, I would have gathered all the pieces and ground them to dust. Oh, that helps my case. Lena, you do that for me? It seems you two might make up yet. Anyway, I just barely had enough time to move the body as it was. If someone happened upon the scene, you'd lose your chance to erase the evidence. You must have been in a hurry. I was. I knew I had to destroy the evidence before anyone came. This is rather shocking. Just like the electricity that came from the sky. I'm afraid this action of yours reveals what really happened. What do you mean? If you really thought Mr. D killed Prosecutor Marshall, you wouldn't have wiped away the blood. What else could I have done in this situation? Lena, I only had a few moments. There wasn't enough time for me to do anything else but gather up the pieces. But how could you see with the power out? It should have been pitch black in that office. A detective is always prepared, Mr. Wright. Even now, I always carry a pocket light and a camera with me. Even I carry a bottle of emergency limonol whenever I go. I never miss anything. I got every last piece. Then you would have noticed the name on the pieces. So you illegally rearranged the crime scene. Yes. I don't have any excuses for my actions. Oops. I'm so sorry, Lena. I didn't know. I've treated you so badly all this time. It It's not too late. There's still plenty of time to make up. After we've gone to the bottom of this incident, no doubt this day will leave a permanent stain on the history of the prosecutor's office. More contradictions have surfaced in her testimony. Your sister's really putting up a fight. She must really care about you. Still, she's not doing this the right way. I think I've finally figured out the contradictions in her testimony. There's one final possibility that might turn everything around. I'm not sure. Contradiction. Let's see. Let me reread the stuff again. I'm not 100% sure. In a hurry. No, wait, you didn't get every last piece. Because we found a piece in Mr. Gant's, safe, so no, you didn't get every piece.
Objection!
This guy, I believe this jar conceals a truth even you were unaware of. What? We found the final piece of this jar in Chief Gant's safe. Hold on, give me 1 second, guys. 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. In the chief's safe, but how? I knew it! She really didn't know. There's something even more disturbing about that final piece. There was still blood on it, but the witness just testified that she gathered every last piece and wiped the blood off them. Yes, which leaves us with only one explanation. Gant was at the crime scene before she walked in. That's the only explanation there. On the night Prosecutor Marshall was murdered, you were not the first one to show up on the scene. Chief Gant got there before you. And he rearranged the scene. Wait, so that means Chief Gant probably rearranged the scene before she got there. Possibly. But couldn't the defendant have simply missed a piece?
Objection!
I'm afraid that's unlikely. The pieces are too big for anyone to miss, let alone an ace detective. That may well be, but everyone makes mistakes. Even I once wasted an entire day looking for my dentures. They were in my mouth all along. Ha! Can you believe? Yes, I can believe that. Have you forgotten, Your Honor? That's the equivalent to somebody asking where their phone is and they just have it in their hand the whole time. When this witness arrived at the scene, the jar was already broken. Oh, that. There's no way a name could have been written on a shattered jar. Another person discovered the scene prior to the witness. I hope you're not implying this person was Chief Gant at this time he was looking for Mr. D downstairs. Besides, even if he was okay. The question is, if he did arrive there first, why did he hide the fact for 2 years? Speechless! Good. Well, Your Honor, can you answer us that? Man, we even made the judge speechless there in this scenario. That's good, that's good. Wait, I'm not the one on trial here. Damon Gant arrived at the crime scene prior to the witness. He proceeded to break the jar and purposely hid one of the broken pieces. Question, what is this action called? Fabrication of evidence. But why would Chief Gant do that? In light of what happened afterwards, isn't it clear? What happened afterwards? Discovering the scene, Lena Skye believed her sister Emma killed the victim. Determined to help her sister, she sought Gant's aid. Leading her his aid, Gant helped her create evidence that incriminated Mr. D, sparing Emma. And there's lies the reason. The reason why Miss Skye became Chief's puppet. Did she just bite her... Wait, did she just bite her thumb and blood just came flying out of it because she did that? Or am I seeing things? I'm hoping I'm seeing things. No, I did it on my own. Please, sis, stop trying to protect the Chief. I can't watch you suffer anymore for my sake. No, you didn't. It wasn't you, Emma. You didn't kill anyone. Don't believe anything Mr. Wright says. Defense attorneys make up the most foul lies to defend their clients. Foul lies? Imagine that coming from my own client. That is something. I guess you do seem like the type who likes to twist the truth. Bruh. Wait a minute. What if we're still smack dab in the middle of Gant's trap? Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Lena, maybe right after all. What do you mean, right? So you do tell foul lies, said Mr. Wright. No, that's not what I meant. I meant that... I think it's all a ploy. He somehow framed the whole situation to make it look like Emma was the one who committed the crime. Even though Gant himself was probably the one who actually did it in the first place. Miss Skye, please testify once more. But if evidence was fabricated behind your back, then Emma's accidental killing of Prosecutor Marshall might also be a lie. But I do remember knocking over Mr. Marshall. Miss Skye, if you will. I can't. There's nothing to be afraid of anymore. This cross-examination may not change a thing. However, there is a possibility that it will if you tell the truth. Very well. I'll testify about what I really saw. Finally! Tell us what really happened, Lena. Alright, the witness may testify once more for the final time.
When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled on that suit of armor sword. Emma and Mr. D were laying unconscious on the floor nearby. When I saw what had happened, I thought she did it. That's why I erased all the evidence that linked her to the murder. I had Chief Gant help me remove the body from the sword and carry it. But if it all really was a fabrication, Emma might be innocent. Unbelievable! The body was impaled on the armor sword. You were the only one who saw that? If only you had proof. Actually, I do have proof. She did say she had a camera. I gave it to Mr. Wright just this morning. What? To me? It's a picture I took of the crime scene as I encountered it. I thought it might be needed. But I don't remember receiving a picture like that. Lena must have known. See, Mr. Wright? She really does have faith in you. That's surprising, considering how she's been acting this whole trial. Very well, Mr. Wright. Please present this picture. I don't remember receiving any pictures from Lena, but I did receive a book. Lena says she gave it to you this morning, right? I seem to remember getting something from her then. Let's check that evidence again. There must be a picture in there somewhere. Let's see, where is... Yeah, the evidence law book. That's what we got from her this morning. Let's see. Oh, there it is! Ooh, gruesome. Hey! There's a picture here. Oh! Oh my. This is... the actual crime scene. Not only did no other detective saw the crime scene like this, because I contacted Criminal Affairs only after I had arranged everything. I see. Gas, Mr. Wright! That piece cut out from his vest, could that be... Oh, the cloth we found inside Chief Gant's safe. It's where she shoved him. What's this? Once again, it's probably blackmail. This is a handprint, isn't it? Once again, I think Mr. Gant just took the piece to use it as blackmail against Emma. That cloth, it had fingerprints on it. Whoever's fingerprints those are must be the real murderer. What? But those fingerprints... They're yours, Emma. Why are your lips turning all purple, Mr. Wright? Anyway, let's get on with the cross-examination. So long as you tell the truth, we should be able to flush out the real murderer. I mean, it doesn't make sense for it to be Emma who murdered him. Because if that was the case, Gant would not have had a reason to cut it from the vest and hide it in a safe. Very well, the defense may now begin its cross-examination. When I arrived... Okay. Oh, I didn't even do anything. Oh, hi! Okay, Gant, you have appeared out of nowhere. Okay, man. He didn't... Gant said no to us discovering the truth, I guess. Jeez, man. Come on, Uggy. I did not expect that. To us be interrupted by this look at this psycho-looking man right here. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. Chief Gant? What now? You want me to make out as a bad guy, too? If so, I'd like to put in a word or two in my defense. I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeited your right to make statements of any sort. Oh, that's funny! This must be that risk we were talking about earlier. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of the noose tightening around your own neck. Oh boy. He went Super Saiyan. Ah, so what? You think I'm worried? I mean, what was that you just did just now? Was that not you being worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. Yes, that's true. Wait, you mean you still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. He's talking about me who has the handprint, isn't he? Someone? So, what's your excuse? Rightio? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves who knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death. Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubt. Is this true, Mr. Wright? If I show them that piece of evidence now, Emma's sure to be made out as a murderer. Mr. Wright, if you have any more evidence, present it now. And if you try to conceal anything, you will be the one appearing before the Board of Inquirers. What do I do now? He just threatened me. I better think this through carefully. I can't afford to make the wrong decision. Should I present that piece of evidence? The one that shows who really killed Prosecutor Marshall? I'm gonna save. I'm saving. Honestly, they keep saying that those shows who killed Prosecutor Marshall. But, like I said, if it was the actual evidence of Emma killed him, why would Gant cut it from the shirt and hide it in a safe? And why would Gant take the piece and hide it before anybody else got there? It sounds like Gant set out the perfect crime scene, the perfect situation that he could possibly use to frame Emma. Is what it sounds like. So, in reality, I don't think there's a reason why we need to hide the evidence, because I don't think the evidence is actually what we think it is. Hey, Fear the Fluff, hello! How are you doing tonight? Welcome to I probably just made a very poor decision in this game. Yes, Your Honor, I do have further evidence. I'm pretty good. I'm tired, but I am good. I'm glad you can make it. I didn't expect anybody to join. So this is a nice little surprise. Yeah. Kind of, yeah. But I still wanted to keep the game going anyway. Gotta power through it and have fun. Even if I sound crazy talking to myself. Oh, that's fine. I'm happy to have somebody here for at least a little while. And I know it is pretty late, too, so... yeah. You're probably tired. Alright, the time's finally come to show it to them. Well, you have fallen asleep to the streams before, but that's really up to you. Just remember to get some rest. Just remember to get some rest, and yeah, don't stay up to watch unhealthy amounts of streaming. I say as I do the exact same thing. Ah. Yeah, I have a watch too that also has an alarm on it, so makes sense. I also have an alarm on my phone that I like to set. Double the alarms just to make sure I actually get up in the morning. And even then, sometimes it doesn't work. That's fair, that's fair. Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that. Those prints have got to be the Chiefs. Yeah, sorry Emma, but they may or may not be Emma's fingerprints. May or may not. I am about to destroy Emma's bubble of hope so fast. Oh no. Now then, let's see this conclusive evidence. The evidence that shows who actually murdered Prosecutor Marshall. Welcome to This Is the Wrong Decision, and poor Emma's. This is gonna lead to a game over. I can feel it.
Take that!
I can feel it in my bones. It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it's most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it. Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. Sure, Gant. Sure, it totally was not evidence that was forged by you to meet your idea of what you want happened on the crime scene. Totally not. What? Whose fingerprints are on this? I'm sure Radio has checked, haven't you? I don't like how you keep referring to me like that. I feel attacked because I know exactly why you keep pointing it out. But I refuse to believe Emma was the one who committed the crime. I refuse. Well, whose are they? Oh no. They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? So it really did do it. See, I told you it was conclusive.
Objection!
But this was found in your safe. That means it's possibly you forged it. Exactly. I think it's forged evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. You are a lying piece of trash, Mr. Gant. Do you really expect me to believe that?
Objection!
But give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. I knew I shouldn't have presented it, but I wanted to present it anyway just to see what would happen. That's why I saved. By presenting that evidence, You tied Emma to Neil Marshall's death. No! It appears we have our killer. No! Oh, just more screaming, okay. Everything hinged on that point. In the end, Lena alone was found guilty on all accounts. Oop. This is why I saved. Good thing I did that. Okay, don't show the evidence. Your Honor, I don't have any evidence I could present at this point in time. What? You lie! If anybody lies, it's you, Mr. Gant. Chief Gant, you opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! You just admitted to having the piece of cloth. You just admitted right there to having the evidence. The conclusive evidence. I don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Wright, why don't you show them? We found it together. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gant? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. See the victim's vest? Notice anything odd about the chest area? It looks like part of it's been cut out for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? I know, he just called himself out. What? That means you, the chief of police, have been concealing evidence. Wow, you just buried your own grave. I'm not buried your own grave. You just dug your own grave, Gant. Good job. This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Good job, Gant. Impressive. To be honest, I don't think you had the gal, rightio. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. What? You mean, you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lena. So you really were manipulating her. I knew Lena. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. I knew, well, why are you admitting to this though? What's your game here, Gant? Why are you admitting this? So you assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe convicted. When I tampered with the crime scene, I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lena arrived at the scene, mind you. 2 pieces of evidence. You mean those items in your safe? The glass piece with blood and the piece of clothing with the fingerprints. But why? For insurance, of course. Insurance. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always best to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. You mean you were calculating that far ahead while forging the evidence? What do you take me for? A fool, yes. I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jar fragment? I hid the most legible part of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lena to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
Objection!
But if you fabricated the evidence, what's to say you didn't fabricate the message on the jar too? Ho 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 ho! Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, radio, cough it up already. I know you haven't.
I'm not coughing up. What are you waiting for, Mr. Wright? So you admit to it then, Chief Gantz, that you were hiding the cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit it. I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all, but it's a lot better than being portrayed as the murderer. You are the murderer. What are you talking about? Well, Mr. Wright, what do you have to say for yourself? Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Radio. You should have shown it then, before it was too late. It's been a long battle, but the moment of truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. I'm saving again. Save. I choose save. Well, at least he's admitted to having the evidence. The last time I hit show evidence, he said he didn't know what I was talking about. But now he has, but he's also admitted to using the stuff for insurance. It's to keep Lena in check. So I don't know if it's the time to show it or not. Besides, even if I did, I just exposed that poor girl's fingerprints. Right. Think hard over the circumstances. The circumstances? I'm talking about then and now. There's one major difference between the two. Weren't you waiting for that difference? So, Edgeworth figured out my plan. Mr. Wright, this is your only chance. Your Honor? I have evidence to present now. Okay, so we are going to present it now then. Oh, I hope this goes according to plan. Take that! Let me verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh, yes. At last you finally brought it out into the open. There's a handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requests that it immediately be sent to the lab for analysis. This handprint on the leather. There must have been a strong impact for it to be left so clearly. You mean, it could not have been forged? Oh no, it must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh no. Ho ho ho. You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Think about it. Radio had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that? I do, sadly. Mr. Wright, do you really know? I do. Whoever the fingerprints belong to must be the real murderer. No, they're not the real murderer. Whose fingerprints are they? Very well, I'll tell you. It should be okay now. Everything's proceeding as predicted. Can I say Gant? I bet you will lie and say Gant. But wouldn't that look very bad on us? But why would I lie about that and say Gant's? It's Gant's fingerprints. They can just go have it tested and see that it's not his fingerprints. If I say it's Gant's. Even though I feel like I could select Gant and frame him for it, but that's the exact same thing Lena Sky tried to do, and look what happened to her after doing all that. So I think we should just stick to the truth and say Emma Sky. Take that! Emma? Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Ho 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 ho! You're really something, Radio. You know this girl did it all along, and you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true. Tragic, but true. This girl really did shove Prosecutor Marshall to his death. How could you, you monster? Miss Guy, you knew whose fingerprints those were on all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Guy, it's not over yet. What? I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha! But I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. Says you! Says the one who also concealed it before I concealed it, Mr. Gant. You with your hair pulling, your pretty looking eyes. This dude over here. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cag out your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? I have nothing to say about this. Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gant, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you ask? It was Emma Skye, wasn't it? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What? A contradiction? What is this fool babbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. Right, this piece of cloth. What could it possibly contradict? Chief Gant, your tyrannical reign ends here. Behold, the piece of evidence that contradicts this cloth. Is there something else to look at besides the handprint? Piece of evidence that contradicts this statement. Piece of evidence contradicts statements. Contradicts statements. I still don't know what the screwdriver's for, or why it's here. Evidence that contradicts it. Is it the vase? Is it the jar that contradicts the cloth? So I'm leaning towards the photo or the jar. I can't really explain why. But I feel like those two would make the most sense, I guess. Oh, this is gonna be wrong. I can feel it. Oh. It's fun watching you squirm, Radio. This piece of evidence does indeed... Okay, so wait. Okay. I was right. It was the jar. The only reason why I think, it was the jar was because it had to break somehow. It had to break at some point during the fight. I just don't know when or how it broke. We haven't discussed when it broke it, when it's shattered exactly, or what caused it to shatter. I guess that's the reason why I thought, hey, maybe it's the jar/pot thing. This piece of evidence does indeed seem to contradict something. Yeah, my mental sanity, you're right. Okay, so my next guess would be the photo.
Take that!
And wait a second. Now okay, wait, hold on. I have thought of something now. So I guess he said he took them when he was helping Lena, right? He snuck them while he was helping her. So why is it missing when she took the picture then? Why is it already gone, if that's the case? This is the picture Miss Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all that blood on his vest, though. Exactly my point. His chest is soaked with blood. That's only okay, yeah, that too. That is true. So if the vest is soaked in blood, that piece with the handprint should have also been soaked in blood. I see where it's getting at. I see what it's getting at. Oh, but that piece of cloth. It's fabricated evidence. It's not real. Wait, there's no blood on it. Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on that sword at that time. No, this is nonsense. Now then, Chief Gant, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He would most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who Who could have it been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Miss Lena Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armored sword. And then to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death. Said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. The jar that they then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Elena believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago? That you personally cut out this bloodless piece of victim's vest? Ironic, isn't it? Though the very act of creating insurance, you proved that you were the actual murderer. It's finally all over. Who is yelling objection now? Oh, he's yelling objection now, okay. Huh. Oh, he does not look good. He looks very horrified of what we discovered. Oh, now he's just laughing. That was close, Radio. You almost had me. Okay. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegations. But why are you so sweaty if they're not true? Why do you look so nervous, Gant? What do you mean you refute his allegations? You see that piece of cloth? It is illegal evidence. Then why do you have it? Order! Order! What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot use to convict a suspect. Remember, Uggy? Earlier, old Radio here concealed that piece of cloth. So then, what's your excuse, Radio? You do have some conclusive evidence, don't you? Oh, that's why I have the rule book. Well, that's true. You refused to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of cloth ceased to be legal evidence. But that's not fair. Ho, 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 ho. Did you actually think you possessed me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gant's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True. Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It seems, at last, the time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Mr. Wright, do you admit to it? That you purposely and illegally concealed this piece of cloth? Hold up. I need to look at the book. It's relevant to the case, well. It's relevant to the case on trial. I admit, I refused to present it at one point. Aha! So the evidence is illegal.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Mr. Gant. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. What do you mean you couldn't? There were certain procedures involved when presenting evidence. No, Uggy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward. You can't really... There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Very well, let's settle this once and for all. Earlier, you refused to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do show now. I have the book!
Take that!
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without an approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence presented must be relevant to the case on trial. And here's the crux of the matter. You see, at the time, it was impossible for me to prove the relevance between the cloth and the SO9 incident. What? What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take a look at this picture and... Sorry, but can you recall? When was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No! He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it value as evidence was you, Damon Gant. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Let me verify this once more. Okay, I don't want to reread it again, so I'm just gonna skip it. No! It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the chief of police, personally approved this cloth. The only person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer, and there's only one person who that could be. Damon Gant, the killer was you. Okay, why did you just stabilize yourself again? Oh, okay, he is losing his mind. He is straight up losing his marbles, okay. I knew I should have gotten rid of him. Gotten rid of who, exactly? Who were you saying to get rid of? Me? To get rid of me? Gumshoe? Oh, Marshall. That good-for-nothing scum. For 2 years, he's been snooping around the department, trying to get something on me. Crimes are being committed every day, yet he insisted on hounding me. Well, you did kill his brother. Well, your crime wasn't exactly petty. He wanted to reinvestigate the case. He recruited Angel Starr, then convinced Bruce Goodman. Detective Goodman? Oh, that makes sense to why he had to kill him then. Yeah, that's right. If the evidence is transferred... There we go. Goodman turned him down, as he ought to. Still, Jake Marshall didn't know when to quit. He stole Goodman's ID card and tried to take the evidence. Goodman came to me that day. He wanted me to file a lost item report. I went with him to the evidence room. Then all of a sudden, he decided to speak out. What are you talking about, Goodman? Can you please reopen the investigation, Chief? We can't transfer the evidence out. There are too many questions left unanswered. And then you killed him. You opened his evidence locker. As he was taking the evidence out, he said, "It's not too late. I'm going to hand all this over to Marshall." Well, to be honest, I was a bit taken aback by his words. I had a bad feeling when he came to see me, but I never thought he would bring up SL9. That's when I saw it. The accursed knife. I couldn't just pull it out. Doing so would have only led to more blood, making it near impossible to hide your crime. Even so, the blood was just pouring out. I didn't know who might stumble in, so I hurried up to wipe it up. I was worrying so much about the floor, I didn't even realize my fatal mistake. The bloody handprint on Detective Gumshoe's locker. I used to be known as the crime computer, but everyone has to start somewhere, I guess. I was too nervous. I had no business doing any of it. Then you put the body in my car. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of any other way to move the body. I broke your trunk, but what's the big deal? You make a lot more than us detectives ever will. Grrr. Leaving the prosecution's car aside, how? How could you get Miss Guy involved in all this? Well, she had as much to lose as I did if the truth came out. So you took the evidence from Detective Goodman's locker? I felt bad for having to do it. I also didn't have the time to pick and choose what to take. So, you left the jar fragments and the glove. Yeah. It looks like I was better off being an investigator of crimes than a committer. They all did their best to get in my way. I've got to hand it to them. They do their jobs well, much to my dismay. Fake evidence doesn't hold up very well upon close examination. You must have known that. Tell me, Worthy, why do you stand in court? Me? You despise criminals. I can feel it. You and me. We're the same. One day you'll understand. Oh, believe me, you will. You're just one man. You'll see what it really takes to bring them down once you try to go it all alone. Well, looks like it's time to say goodbye. Oh, Uggy? What? Looks like we'll have to cancel that lunch date. Sorry, old friend. I'm sorry too, Damon Gant. I knew you as you used to be long ago. You were once a fine investigator and example to others on the force. I'm sorry to learn that you are no longer that person. Those days are gone now, Uggy. Thanks for all the memories, though. Don't worry, you'll be fine. Now you have Radio here, and Worthy. With these two around, you can't go wrong. In fact, I can hear them already. The melodious sounds of a new beginning. There are two things I want you to understand. Yes? First, your sister never hurt anybody. Second, Damon Gant betrayed you from the beginning. You see, Miss Guy, you no longer have any reason to keep silent. You're right. When this trial is over, I'll tell everything. All that I've done these past 2 years, from the time I had Gant help me forge evidence up until today. So, it seems all the questions raised from this trial have been answered. I'm sorry, Miss Guy. I couldn't get you out of all your trouble. My, what high standards you have for a rookie. I can see why Mia thought so highly of you. Who knows, a few years from now, you just might make it to the top. Oh, she actually smiled! That's so sweet! I owe you my thanks, Mr. Wright. Miss Guy, and to you too, Mr. Edgeworth. You've suffered every bit, as much as I have over these past few days. Believe me, I know how much of an ordeal it's been for you. It was nothing. Liar. I was worried the pressure might break you. And yet, you rose above it all and guided Mr. Wright to victory. You've done well, Mr. Edgeworth. Stop it, I only did my job. In light of this case, it seems a good self-examining is in order for us all today. Miss Sky? Yes, Your Honor. You are innocent of murder, however. Although the chief blackmailed you, the fact you still acted as his accomplice, a trial will be scheduled for these crimes at a later date. Yes, I understand, Your Honor. Is there something amusing about all this? Why are you smiling? It's been a long time, Your Honor. A long time since I've felt free of these heavy chains.
Oh, that's wholesome. I'm so glad that she's free.
Well, this trial has gone on far too long already. Regarding the charge of the murder, this court finds the defendant, Miss Lena Sky,
Not guilty. She is innocent. Yeah.
nice.
This is all. This court is adjourned.
At long last, it's finally over.
Emma.
Why the long face? I'm sorry your sister didn't get completely off the hook. But at least she wasn't convicted for a murder she didn't commit. No, that's not it. Just now, after the trial ended. I don't want to reread it. I really don't. You know, I did my best too, but Lena didn't say a single word to me. Hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals.
Oh. Guess I am. You always are, Gumshoe, but we love you for it. I'll come back later.
Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it?
You're doing this on purpose, aren't you? Making a detective run all over while on duty.
Now on top of it all, you call me here. I've seen happier people at funerals. Hey, lighten up, pals. I'm only kidding. Oh, are you here because of my sister again?
Nope. Not this time. I came today because of you, pal.
Me? That's right. I thought you'd like to see someone.
Who are you seeing?
Oh, you're seeing your sister in person. Nice. Lena!
Should you be doing this?
She's still under arrest, you know.
Well, I won't tell if you won't.
Emma, I owe you an apology. It's okay, sis. Don't worry about it. That day 2 years ago was the first time in my life I ever panicked. It was all I could do to keep myself from screaming. All I could think about was keeping you from getting wrapped up in that mess. Sis! I asked Gant to help me cover up the truth. I thought I was doing it for your sake. But now, I realize I was wrong. I changed after that day. I had to. It was the only way I could make it through the past 2 years. I knew how much I was hurting you by distancing myself. But I couldn't bring myself to tell you what I did. I was scared. Scared that you'd look at me with those eyes of yours. I was scared of how you'd react. But sis, you were only doing it for me. No. Huh? I turned my back on you that day. And hiding what I believed to be the truth, I was deceiving you. Sis, I'm such a fool. It took me all this time to realize it. Emma, I'm so sorry. But sis, you don't have to apologize. I'm happy now. You're happy? Of course. You know, sis, I always knew that one day you'd come back. And now you have. Oh, Emma. Emma! Aw, so cute.
Oh, it's so cute! Look at them! They're all happy and stuff! Oh, I love it.
No one can change the past. The only thing we can do is strive to make up for our mistakes. Why must we make up for our mistakes, you ask? Because in so doing, we can find the way back to our rightful path. And it is from there that we can move on toward a brighter future. At last, that's what I felt watching those two sisters make up. Mr. Wright, Mr. Gumshoe, me? Thank you both for all that you've done. I'm sure we'll meet again someday. Isn't that right, Edgeworth? Edgeworth? Stop hiding and come over here. Edgeworth! Where was he hiding? I just came to say congratulations. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Edgeworth. Right. Well, I'll be going now. Mr. Edgeworth, I hope you don't blame yourself for what happened. We were the ones who acted corruptly, not you. It's too late for me. No matter what anyone may say, I realized today that I can't correct my mistakes. Mr. Edgeworth, not only that, but I don't even trust myself anymore. Chief Gant was right. Is he going to quit being a prosecutor? I do despise criminals. I plan to dedicate my entire life to fighting them, but in order to fight a criminal on my own, I need a weapon. It's scary, but I've known that to be true for quite some time now. But Edgeworth, who knows, given enough time, I might have tried to pull something like Chief Gant did. That thought terrifies me. That's why I can't continue on as a prosecutor. Edgeworth, don't you understand? Damon Gant and your mentor, Minfred von Karp, let's not mention that name ever again. We're both the best of the best when it came to fighting crime, but they both made the same mistake. You said in order to fight crime on my own, I need a weapon. That may be true, but think back to today's trial. You weren't alone. You were working together with Mr. Wright, and because of that partnership, you were able to present evidence that otherwise would have gone undiscovered. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Huh? What? Oh, yeah. What is this, a pop quiz? Come on, Mr. Wright, show him what Lena's talking about. Evidence, huh? Something that neither Edgeworth nor I would have been able to find on our own. I don't know. Are we talking about the cloth? Because that's when me and him started working together, really. Mr. Wright, it seems you still have a lot to learn as well. I guess that wasn't the right piece of evidence. Or maybe it was the photo? I do not know. It's time for me to go. Mr. Edgeworth, if you'll excuse me, there are still some loose ends that need wrapping up. Take care, Chief Prosecutor. No, Edgeworth, I will miss you. Edgeworth, what will you do now? Well, whatever you do, just remember. You can let what happened to kill the prosecutor in you, or you can let it help you grow. In the end, it's up to you. I know. It seems I owe you my thanks too, right? But what I face now is my problem. Edgeworth, I'll be waiting for you in court. Yeah, don't leave us. No, Edgeworth!
Don't leave us, man. Farewell. No, Edgeworth!
I better be going too. Okay, I'll be by to visit soon. It seems we both have a lot to learn and catching up to do. Here, this is a little something for you. Scientific investigation. It's the first book I ever bought to study about. Thanks, sis. I will.
Aww. And so, another case came to a close. As for the sisters, I have faith. Oh, I love it. Faith that their lives have only just begun. And as for me, I think it's time I started on a new journey of my own. A journey to rediscover myself. Well, don't go trekking off just yet, pal. Huh? What is it, detective? There's just a little matter to be resolved about the chief prosecutor. You see, she isn't supposed to be out of jail like this. But I thought you said it was okay. Yeah, well, it may be okay with me, but the folks at the prison are a different story. Huh? Basically, I had to bribe a guard in order to sneak her out for 30 minutes. Believe me, it wasn't cheap either. Huh? Way to go, detective. I didn't know you had a wild side. Yeah, well, haha. You see, Mr. Wright here is the one who'll be footing the bill. Of course I'm the one who'll handle the bill. What do you think? I can afford it with my salary? You gotta be kidding me, pal. Huh? Thank you, Mr. Wright. You're the best. Lovely. Why is it I suddenly feel like I want to scream? Hey, I got an idea. Why don't we all go pay it off together? That's a better idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. Come on, guys. Let's go. And that is the end of the first game in the trilogy. Oh nope, what's still more? Never mind. Oh. So he lost Edgeworth and Lena. Man, I love this game so much. I can't believe the first game has finally come to an end in this trilogy. I do plan to play the other games of this trilogy again in the future. As for now though, I do kind of want to step back from this game and take a break. Play something else and then come back to this game. Because I don't want to constantly play the game and play the second game and grow tired of it. Because I want to genuinely enjoy this game while I play it. So I think the best option for me to make sure I get the full experience I want out of the second game would be for me to take a step back for a little while. Come back to it later. Brush off the controller. Brush off Mr. Wright's face and be like, hey, let's solve some investigations together. I'm not sure what I'm gonna play yet in replace of Phoenix Wright at the moment, but I'm sure I'll probably think of something in the matter of this video being released to the next one. I want to thank everybody who has joined me on this series. Thank y'all for sticking around. Thank y'all for sitting through it with me, talking to me throughout the game, helping me throughout the game, because I know there were some points where I needed help and y'all gave me a bone, and I appreciate it. Despite how... Yes, it finally fell over! Yes! Okay, now back to what I was saying. Yeah. Thank you guys. And let's see. Oh, Marshall! Steak lunch, partner.
Aw. Oh yeah, I'll make sure they get their water marshal just for you. And I just want to say to the people who watch this video on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my content. It really helps out a lot. And if you want to catch the streams, you can find me on Twitch just under the name The Land of Skyanites. Or if you're watching here on Twitch and you want to see like older videos, older streams, I try to keep them unedited because I want them to be as real as possible to when I was playing the game. So I'll try to leave them unedited. I mean, if that's something you guys want me to do in the future, I can try to figure out how to edit videos. I just don't know how well that's gonna go. I'm not really sure how to edit that well, at least. But yeah, if y'all are interested in catching old streams, you can check out my YouTube channel, Skyanites. The uploads there are pretty slow, but I promise you they're slowly getting uploaded to YouTube. They're not that far behind, thankfully. I say that as I'm like 4 episodes behind in this game being uploaded to YouTube. But it'll be okay. Like I said, this will eventually make it on there. Man, these are some long credits. Yes, we get to see Maya again! Maya, I missed you! Mystic Maya? Who's talking? See me around, Nick. Nice, I missed you, Maya. Man, we get to see Maya again at the end of the game. That's awesome. I love it. I think the last trial was my favorite trial in Chapter 6. Chapter 5 is my second favorite. As much, I know I kept roasting Gant throughout this whole game, but I actually really love Gant. Oh, he quits. Like, I like Gant from his, like, character design to his personality. He was made out to be pretty sinister, even in reality he wasn't that sinister during the whole murder thing, but, well, at least with the murder with Goodman, that wasn't really that spooky sinister, but the past that the DL something 9 incident, that was pretty sinister. Him framing Emma and everything just to get her sister to get Emma, Lena, that's her name, just to get Lena to do whatever he wants. What are we doing here? Oh, there's a letter. Oh, it's a picture of them. Oh man, I love it. That's wholesome. Oh, that is so cute. I hate how much I hated on Emma during the last chapter. She's actually a really cool bean from how she played into the story. Her character itself though was a little annoying, but you know what? It's kind of grown on me. It's grown on me. Well, since the credits have come to an end, it looks like this stream is coming to an end as well. Thank you guys once again for joining. I hope you'll have a good night, good morning, good afternoon, evening, depending on whatever time you're watching this. And I hope to see you all in the next stream. See y'all later, guys. Stay hydrated.